to link up with them so that we can reach every student in the country. Yeah. Ito, RA 11476, GMRC in Values Education.
Second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, just to add on, so ito kasi yung ating backbone project, yung Filipino values. We'd also like to introduce already within this program ethical codes of conduct related to cultural industries. Anong ibig sabihin po nito? Dito po kasi lalabas yung issues about piracy, appropriation, yung nafa-flood ang market ng mga tela, ng mga igorot na printed na hindi na wini-weave, no? Yung pagkuha ng mga... So, all of this, I think we have to roll out in certain sectors kasi the moment we professionalize our sector, I think there should be an ethical code of conduct. Ganun din po, gusto namin na i-amplify na sana may roll out kami ng values sa mga archaeologists, conservation practitioners, sa artists, no? Kasi very often overlooked din po namin ito, even sa sector namin, no? So it's not just direct to our education sector, but within sector as well.
Dito sa proposal nyo, meron ng 21 million. So on top of the 21 million, another 10 million for itong Filipino values for the common good. So the total will be 31 million.
It's one of the programs that had been reduced, that had not been included in our...
I'm looking at the 2026 NEP under NEFCA, number 4, inculcating for the values for the common good program.
Exact ang programa yun.
So on top pa siya.
Overall, ano yung...
It's good in intent, but how do you do values formation for the common good? An example of a program, please, para maintindihan. Trabaho yan ng...
Yeah.
Sa 10 million, paano mo babaguhin ang ugali ng mga masasamang ugali?
Kaya po, Madam, this is in partnership with the actually, NCCA got engaged into this because in 2017-2022 Philippine Development Plan, there is the chapter on the promotion of Filipino values and culture. So this program was developed assigning NCCA, DepEd, and Civil Service to develop a national formation program. So we conducted research and a survey on what are the values for the common good. And we were able to come up with a canon or a list of 20 values. So these programs that we are doing now is really the promotion of these 20 values that had been output of that particular research, which we also integrate in the GMRC of the DepEd. So the program so far that we have done for this, we had animation that gives attention to the values of the family, yung 20 that we have in our list. So it's the promotion aspect that NCCA is doing, utilizing also the different art forms that we have.
That's the National Adaptation Plan, CCC nila.
Okay.
Hanapin mo naman.
yeah.
Tapos wag na yung homecoming. 7 ka naman.
Okay.
Tama na.
That's all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Pwede pang
Maraming salamat.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Hindi, patingin nga nung Tier 3. Di ba 500 yan? 282. Patingin lang. Di ba 500 yan? Tapos, yung wish list nyo 282 na pwede pang i-trim down. Ano yung balanse ng 500 minus 282 na hindi nyo na in-ask for reconsideration? O, hindi na, wag na nyo present. Bigay na lang nyo sa akin. Ano yun? Example. Baka meron dun mahalaga na yun ang dapat i-restore. O kung wala sa inyo, hindi bala na.
Po kami for the celebration of the ASEAN. So we because I think there will be an overall budget for that. Kaya we already pulled that out in the list.
Sige.
What else?
Okay.
Just to ano rin, no, because we're talking about additional budget. Just to remind NCCA, ang NCCA is a member of the Teacher Education Council, which mamaya actually pupunta sila dito for their budget. But we intentionally placed the NCCA there so that in the Teacher Education Council is primarily concerned with teacher education.
Yes.
But since ang representation ng NCCA there is to make sure our teachers are also trained in culture, arts, and history. No, so you have to just to remind you that you have a membership there, so that NCCA can inculcate to our teachers the importance of arts and culture. Baka hindi kayo na-invite o hindi kayo na ano, because that relates to GMRC and values. Kasi yung ating teachers will be the ones teaching GMRC and values. So dugtong-dugtong siya. No? They're a member.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Chair, I'm happy to note that during the pandemic, I involved all the teachers of Antique to do the culture mapping. The funds were from UP Visayas, but UP Visayas and I think NCCA helped mentored and facilitated the training of teachers to be the culture mappers. And so the output was an encyclopedia of hard copy books in my office for culture mapping of the province. So, maganda yun. Reiterate ko yung sinabi ni Chair na ang teachers, turuan natin ang cultural education. And they were so excited. I think yun ang nagbuhay sa amin ng 2 taon na nakakulub. Oo. Natuto sila ng bagong skill sa culture mapping. Kaya nga, with the permission of the Chair, I will augment the budget and amend of culture mapping with a special provision that this has to be done in cooperation, collaboration with DepEd teachers. Or even higher education teachers. Oo. CHED. Oo. CHED, SUCs, professors, and DepEd teachers. Sige. Thank you.
Kasi ito is cultural education. Now, we realize that when we work even with LGUs, ang hirap din talaga to convince many of our LGUs. So, gusto rin namin i-take off yung culture-based governance and biocultural governance. Culture-based governance is really providing a cultural frame sa ating mga local chiefs executives for them to value, out of cultural mapping, how will they utilize that now? Kasi that's their place, So it will provide the dignity, the pride, that sense, para sa community. So it's a culture-based governance approach. For some municipalities that are environmental sensitive, like climate change and all, meron kaming biocultural governance. So they must be able to meld that governance framework na parang landscape kami hindi lang kami building. We work with a particular specificity because maybe of your coastal, ang incidents ng baha at erosion dito, ganito nag-overflow mga rivers. So, from both intangible heritage to tangible to pinaplant din yan in the overlay sa mga disaster maps. So may ganong approach din. So these are all coming from cultural mapping and even values formation and cultural ed.
kahalaga sa akin, Mr. Chair, ang culture mapping. Kaya yung ask nyo na 20 lang, maliit yan. Mula nang naisabatas natin ang culture mapping, zero budget pa, right? Because the budget I put na 30 ba yun o 50? 30, hindi nagamit dahil siniro nga yung FBMGOH dun dinala. So in short, hindi pa napapatupad yung batas ko. Yung 20 nyo maliit na ask. With the permission of the chair, if he allows us to amend the budget, I will more than double the culture mapping. And Eric is, ED is an expert here. Alala ko, meron ko sinabi sa akin more than 10-15 years ago, yung natuklasan na, ano yung, ang pinakita mo yung letrato, ang lalim-lalim na dating parte ng syudad. Saan to? Sa Region 8 yun eh. May sinkhole na nakita, tapos parang may buried city. Right? Saan yun? Samar, Leyte? Use the mic, please. Yes, where was this?
So in Samar, it's actually an area that straddles eastern Samar and Samar. So it's very remote. Hindi naman talaga siya pinupuntahan. But you imagine
Revealed a civilization
a whole
for the city.
settlement.
A settlement, yes.
Na may mga, well, they have their own archaeological excavations, you know.
If we are to culturally map every LGU, what's the minimum amount and how much is the total cost? And do you have the absorptive capacity?
The way we are doing the cultural mapping is the NCC's fund is really used for the training of the mappers, because we always believe that the local should be the mappers. So estimate namin po 500,000 for a small LGU to do the training. And ngayon, ma'am, ang dami pong demand ng cultural mapping because it is mandated by the law that we amended. Opo, humihingi po.
500,000 will be the training for the teachers, right? And then they do their own mapping. They spend for that now.
The local government also allocates for the mapping. So they are the ones paying for the stipend or the honorary of the mappers.
Hindi naman kailangan mahal yan eh.
Yes.
Kasi doon naman sila nakatira. Ang pagkain, wala naman, hindi na nag-parachute dyan ang mga experts na doon titira. Hindi. Yung local, parang nangyari sa amin. Yung mga teachers namin doon, ang gumagawa ng mapping. Oo.
Yung 500,000 is really for the experts that we're bringing to train the mappers.
Ilan ang kaya nyo? Sige, bigyan na lang ng ask nyo, ilan ang kaya nyo na i-empower o i-train na LGUs at sino yung mga low-hanging fruit. Huwag natin pilitin yung mga LGU na ayaw o hindi na intindihan. Yung mga may gusto
lang po tayo, ma'am. Kaya request-driven. Kaya ready na po sila.
Yes, so sige. At yung mga dapat talagang i-map dahil culturally diverse or rich. Lahat naman. Pero, yun. Sige. Okay. Mr. Chair?
Just curious, ED, ilan LGU ang may culture or office? Cultural office. Is that mandated by the local government code? But like sa amin, meron kaming tourism and culture office eh.
Well, it's...
Minerge na, hindi kami masyadong sa tourism, but minerge namin tourism and culture. And we coordinate with NHCP, with NCCA. But how many, I'm just out of curiosity, how many LGUs have some form of culture and heritage office?
We don't have the numbers on top of mind, but we can
survey natin, oh.
Yes, but we have, because we have worked naman with the ILG.
Para lang tingnan natin kung sino yung mga LGU who are promoting their local culture, promoting their local heritage, and maybe it's about time to bring it down to the LGUs, because the LGUs are the best entities to promote culture and heritage.
Correct. Yung ginawa yung
museum.
What is that museum?
It's Pio Valenzuela Museum. We partner with NCC and NHCP also.
Was it an old house or it's a replica?
It's a old house. Dinonate ng Valenzuela family to the LGU
Very good.
with the caveat that the LGU will renovate the old house and turn it
Okay.
into a museum.
Very good. Yes. Nice. Okay.